Good afternoon and welcome to Blurry Vision, all you friends, family, and newcomers. Today was supposed to be a day where we had a special guest, my mom, but due to unforeseen circumstances involving a gentleman who was not treating his dog properly, police intervention, and my mother being a good Samaritan, she was not able to leave her work in time to get here today for this session. So it's just us. So I'm Teresa.
I'm Miranda.
And this is Blurry Vision book review. And this is where we read a book, we choose a drink based off the book, and then we review the book for you. We give you our likes, our dislikes, and we basically just give you our opinions of how we feel about the book. We do have a disclaimer. I'm going to let Miranda hook you up with that.
So the disclaimer is basically if you have children near you, around you, or people who are easily offended, this is not recommended for them because we are unable to censor ourselves. Sorry. So I think we're a good time. I think we're funny, but we do not censor. There is language and
other things that you probably don't want your littles to hear. But today we're reading a book that's the author is Claire Kingsley. It's her second book in a series. It's called Falling for Your Enemy. We did choose Dirty Martinis because the series is called the Dirty Martini Running Club, I believe is what it's called. Yes. I'm sorry, I don't do dirty martinis. I tried downstairs. There was no way that was coming up here with me, so I alternated mine. Mine is raspberry vodka with a little bit of lime juice per se. Limeade. But I did put peach schnapps. Peach schnapps too. Yeah, to get a little bit of sweetness for me. And I did put the dirty olives in there, or I don't know if they're dirty, but they're just olives. The green olives.
And I had a dirty martini downstairs, but because I was trying to hurry, I ended up chugging it. And I did not want a second one of those to sip on during this. So
we did veer from our normal path and we chose different drinks. But anyway, regardless.
Still martini-ish glasses. Yes. So cheers,
yes.
Bacon.
Cheers to you too as well. All right.
Okay.
Still a little off. All right.
Okay. Is it a series? Yes. This is actually the second podcast we've done on this series. The first one that we did was
Falling shit.
Mrs. Right.
Faking Mrs. Right.
That's what it was.
Faking Mrs. Right.
So we did that one.
Yep.
And then this one is the next one, Falling for My Enemy. It is the second one. This one is a story of Hazel and Corbin.
Yes. Corbin Nash.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Favorite part of the book?
Genre.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Genre.
She's skipping ahead.
I am.
She does that.
I did. Genre.
I said hot, spicy rom-com.
Yeah. Spicy rom-com all the way. It was fantastic. I did. So the author did an author's note in the beginning of this book. And I really, really liked the way that she said it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to quote that.
Okay.
So it's a standalone rom-com featuring a sexy nerd with a great big ... heart. Tons of tension, witty banter, super hot frenemies with benefits, badass lady friendships with a widening circle of trust, and a romantic, happy ending that will leave you swooning. And I was like, oh my God, that is the book to a T.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Claire.
It's like she wrote the book. I don't know.
It's like she did. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first things first, then favorite part. What was yours?
I put author's note, but then also her.
You can't come up here. Sorry, sweet love.
Her cat.
Loved
the relationship
Ernie?
she had with the cat was so funny. Everybody kept telling her cat was fat. He was fat. He was overweight. This was never going to work.
I wrote this down, and it's one of my quotes that I love. And it's if you're implying he's fat. Oh God, he isn't. He's just fluffy.
Yeah. I feel like everybody gives me crap because my dogs are always overweight. I'm like, they're not overweight. They're just big. They're like big bone. They're long. They're fine.
They're fluffy.
And so my dogs don't have that much fur to be fluffy, but I felt that to a core.
I felt very connected to Hazel because she has this fat cat, which I do.
Yeah.
Mine is 20 pounds, and honestly, he's 3 years diabetic. And so I've been giving him shots twice daily, but the way she talks to Erwin is the way I talk to Brad. Like, he's an actual person.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just, like, I felt connected to her because I'm like, yeah, that's totally me. And, like, when she was trying to catch the cat
Oh my
on
God.
multiple occasions, and she had to call Sophie, and then she had to call Corbin to come help. I have learned that you have to close off. You can't have them running under beds where you have to like dig them out. Like, you got to close off all the places where their hiding places
Oh, I
are.
didn't realize this was. I thought she exaggerated all of this.
Oh God, no. So for me, I was just like, it just brought me so close to home. I was just like, oh yeah, I feel you, girl.
Oh
and if
my
I
God.
was in the book, I would be helping Hazel
Yeah.
catch that damn cat.
Oh my God. I thought she was exaggerating it. I've never owned a cat, so I have no idea what that's like, but
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Did you like the heat level?
Yeah.
Literally, this is my notes. Dear Lord, copy room, fuck buddies. That's all I wrote on that section, and I was like, well,
So I don't know if you've been watching, but we rate these books by number of shots. And I'll be like, when it comes to family, I'll always say, for my mom, I'm like, oh yeah, I tell my mom about this. And so I said that about the last book. And then I'm reading this book, specifically this copy room scene. And I'm like, I text Miranda, I'm like, I'm kind of embarrassed that I had mom read this book. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know. And so I literally told my mom that, and she's like, oh, come on, girl, what do you think I read when you were little? So it was kind of funny. It was very funny.
it was funny, but it was
Yeah.
one of those, like, now that you're, oh my God, chapter 18, I wrote that down because I was like, are you shitting me right now?
So the Dirty Martini Running Club is based up of 4. Well, it started out 3 friends, but now there's 4 because Sophie has joined the group.
Mm-hmm.
And they are hardcore friends. They've got a circle of trust, and
Yep.
anytime you need your friends, they're there. I feel like that's what we have too.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that they said that really resonated with me, and it's a little bit naughty, was, my lovelies, I propose a toast to the friendship with benefits and the cocks who are worthy of it.
I read that and I was like,
And I love Nora when she comes to give Hazel advice, because she's not really sure that she can handle it because Everly was on her honeymoon or something during the
Yes.
book. Yes. And she said, sweat, I glisten.
yes.
That's something we do. And then my favorite nickname for Corbin, because he's a twin with Molly. Molly refers to him as Twinkie, and he hates it. And he's like, I don't understand why you call me Twinkie. And she's like,
she's called him that since childhood.
Since childhood. And he's like, it's the dumbest nickname I've ever had in my life. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's like Twinkie?
Yeah. And when she said that,
I was like, oh, that's actually
funny.
enduring and so
I like
cute.
that. And that's the same thing he said.
Yes.
Is that he was like, okay, now that I get it, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then there was, so you and I are on the same page where we read this book, we read the last books, we've read 2 of 2, or I'm sorry, we've read 2 of 4. The last book, Nora brought her half brother or stepbrother. We haven't figured that part out because I forgot and you forgot. But both of us were certain that the next book,
Jensen and Sophie were going to be a thing.
guaranteed.
But we're reading for, like, we read like the prequel or whatever it's called.
No.
It's not a prequel.
Some
summary or like whatever it's called when you read, like, what is it called? Fuck. Anyway, like I don't know, like what you read. Anyway, and it's not him. We don't know where Jensen plays into the part, and he doesn't play into the part with Nora. I'm wondering if there's a 5th book.
I could see that. Maybe it's like a Nora has a different relationship in the 4th book, And he's like, I don't think that's good enough for you. But then we kind of see him come into his own in a different book with a different person. So that it's, I don't know. Maybe he fits in there somehow. Somewhere he has to. Claire Kingsley, please put Jensen in his own book.
Please.
We're begging.
I need his life. I need to know what's happening in his life.
Yes.
Because he's such a player right now.
And he has an accent. At least in my head, he has an accent.
All the girls swoon for him. And then
absolutely.
Nora always tells him, don't fall for his shit. And
but she, like, calls him out in front of everyone. He'll sit there, he'll look at Sophie and be like, hey, should we leave here and go see? And she's like, knock it off. You're being a slut. Or whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. But, like, she calls him.
What it was about what was the guy
The peacock.
The peacock.
The peacock guy. I knew exactly who you're talking about, too.
But the bedazzled bitches. They are
bitches.
Women that were in there that were also part of a running club, but they called themselves the bedazzled bitches. And they just thought they were hot shit. And I'm not going to ruin it for you. You'll have to read the book to find out who wins at the end.
There are a bunch of bitches.
But I loved when Sophie put her hands up.
Yes.
And she called them double-fisted unicorns.
Yes!
I never heard that before.
When she was mad, she was like, yes, she gave me the double-fisted unicorns.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Loved it.
No, and you know another thing I like that Claire Kingsley does in her book, she did it in the last one and this one, and these are the only two of hers that I've read.
Mm-hmm.
She does an epilogue. So not only do you get, like, the current moment of the happy ending, but you get, like, that little extra you always hope for in a book that, like, maybe even hope for in a movie is you get to see in the future. You get to see what they could possibly be doing and the happily ever after still continuing.
Mm-hmm.
And it completely closes that for you.
Yeah.
And how was that sip? It was rough.
I have olives at the bottom of this.
No.
Because I was trying to stick with the theme of dirty martinis. But olives and raspberry vodka are quite a
terrible mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So highly recommend